Hi, in this video, I am going to explain some GPAT model questions related to pharmaceutical chemistry. Question 1. Which set of approximate bond angles at C1, C2 and N of the following molecule indicates the correct shape? So in this molecule, what is the bond angle at the C1 position, that is this carboxylic acid, and this carbon atom C2 position and nitrogen atom. So we can make these bond angles by knowing the hybridization of these carbon atoms and nitrogen atom. So by that we can approximately say the bond angles of these C1, C2 and N in the molecule. So the given options are C1 at the C1 position 120, C2 120, N 120, and C 109.5, C2 120, and N is 109.5 degree, and C1 109.5, C2 120, N 120, and D is C 120, C2 109.5, and N 109.5. So we know this, if you know this hybridization, sp3 hybridization, that is 1 s orbital and 3 p orbitals, and sp2 hybridization 1 s orbital, 2 p orbitals, and sp hybridization. So if you know the what is the structure of that hybridized molecule, so you can easily write the bond angles of that molecules in a hybridized compound. So if sp3 hybridized compound atom means, so it is having the shape that is tetrahedral shape. So tetrahedral means what is the bond angle is present between the atoms is nothing but 109 degree 5 degrees 5 Celsius. And sp2 hybridization orbital, the structure is the triclonal planar, so the angle is present 120 degrees. And if it is sp hybridized means the angle is present is 180. So this the bond angle is present in a sp3 hybridized, sp2 hybridized and sp hybridized atom. So if you observe here, the carbon C here is a sp2 hybridized. So the carbon C1 contains the 120. So option B is wrong and also C is wrong. So coming to A and C. And next carbon atom, this carbon is sp3 hybridized. So sp3 hybridized means the bond angle is 109.5. So this is given 120. So this is also wrong one. So correct answer is the D. So C1 120 and C2 109.5, and N also it is in sp3 hybridized only 109.5 degrees. Next question, which set of hybridization states of C1, C2 and N of the following molecule is correct? So which type of hybridization are undergoing these molecules, these atoms, that is C1 this benzene ring, this carbon atom, and this carbon atom C2 and nitrogen, which hybridization it is taking place? So C1 is sp2 and C2 is having same sp2, and nitrogen also sp2 is present in this structure if you observe clearly. So option A, it is wrong. B, C and D. So all are sp2 hybridized, C1, C2 and nitrogen. So option C is correct. And next question, which is the correct molecular formula of the following molecule? So this molecule, what is the molecular formula? So the given options are C8H8, C8H10, C7H8 and C7H10. So we can count the carbon atoms 1 and 2, 1, 2 and 3, 4, 5 and here 6 and 7 and here is 8. So these two options are wrong. Clearly it is came, and we should count the hydrogen atoms. So here 3 hydrogen atoms, CH3, 3, no hydrogen, no hydrogen, and 2 hydrogens here, 5 total, 6, 7 and 8 and 2 hydrogens, total 10. So this is also wrong. So the correct answer is C8H10 is the molecular formula of this structure, C8H10. So which molecule contains an sp hybridized atom? So among the these given examples, which compound is having sp hybridized form? So one is formic acid, HCOOH, nitric acid, nitrous acid, and hydrogen cyanide. So if you know the structure clearly of these molecules, you can easily estimate the which one is having sp hybridized atom. So I given the structures here, formic acid, HCOOH, formic acid. So sp2 hybridized, so we can see the 120-degree bond angle, and here the nitric acid HNO3 nitric acid, so it is also having same sp2 hybridized 120 bond angle, and nitrous acid, it is also sp2 hybridized, but if you see the hydrogen cyanide, it is sp hybridized molecule. So this is the correct answer, hydrogen cyanide. And which alkene has the E configuration? So given the uh, options A, B, C and D, so among these four, which is having E configuration and remaining are Z configuration. So first of all, what is E configuration and Z configuration? If the two groups of higher priority are on opposite side of the double bond, so to the double bond opposite side, it should present a higher priority groups should be present. So then we can consider as a ER antigen configuration. So if the higher priority groups on the same side are present to the double bond, we can call it as Z or Zusamen configuration. So you can give the priority on the this side. If you observe in this compound, so this hydrogen having the lowest priority, this methyl is having the highest priority, and if you observe in this one, so it is having the lowest priority, it is having the highest priority. So as double bond O, we can represent it as a again carbon, and O we can represent. So this is the highest priority. So the highest priority are present on the same side. So it is a, this compound is a Z configuration. So coming to this example, this is the lower priority and this is the highest priority. And coming to these two examples, the double bond we can divide and make it as a C, and again C we can represent. So this carbon atom is binding with the two carbons, but this carbon atom also binding with the same two carbons, and next carbon atom is binding with the another carbon atom here. So it is having the highest priority when comparing with this one. So you can see lowest priority, highest priority on the same side is present. This also Z configuration. And coming to the third example, so this is the lowest priority methyl group, and it is the highest priority this ethyl group, and among these two, so this is the lowest priority and this is the highest priority due to the presence of oxygen. So highest priority are present on the same side, it is also a Z configuration. All these three are Z configuration. This is the E configuration we can observe. So it is the lowest priority and it is the highest priority, and this is the highest priority and it is the lowest priority. So the highest priority groups are present in opposite to the double bond. So it is the E configuration. D is the correct answer. Next, which of the A to D is the correct IUPAC name of the following compound? So the given options are 2-chloro-3-methyl pent 3-ene. So you can observe the 5 carbons are present. So if you given number from here means 1, 2, 3, it will come to the double bond. So if you come numbering from this side 1, 2, so it will come to the second position. So you can give the preference from this side 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So according to the um, alphabetical order, chlorine will come first. So 4-chloro. So only one option it is there, 4-chloro. Third position having the methyl, 3-methyl, pent, 5-membered ring chain, 2-ene. Second position having the double bond. So B is the correct answer. And which compound is most soluble in water? So the given options are butanol, butanal, butanone and butanoic acid. So it is alcohol containing butanol, so it is aldehyde, and it is ketone, and it is carboxylic acid. So the carboxylic acid can make a more intermolecular hydrogen bonds while dissolving in the water, solubilizing in the water. So butanate it is giving. Easily it will make the COO minus form with the water molecule. So this butanoic acid is having the highest solubility. So solubility is depending on the balance between the solute versus solute solvent intermolecular interactions. So intermolecular interactions are mainly involving. So hydrogen bonding between carboxylic acid and water molecule is strong, we can observe. So in comparing with these three, so answer is butanoic acid. So which of A to D is the most stable conformation? So which is the most stable conformation among these four given the Kekulé structures? So as we know that when comparing with the cis trans is the very stable one, cis is very less stable. So these two are cis conformations. So more steric hindrance we can observe chlorine, chlorine, hydrogen, chlorine, chlorine, this one. So this is not having stability, and this is also not having stability. If you observe among these two, chlorine groups are adjacent. You can observe here the bromine and chlorine. So more steric hindrance you can observe in this compound. So this is also not having the stability when comparing with this compound. So highest stability of the compound is 8. So the factors contributing to the stability of the molecular conformation include the torsional and steric strain. So the steric bulk of the substance increases in order hydrogen, chlorine and bromine. So option A is the correct answer. Which of the following statement regarding cycloalkanes is wrong? So regarding the cycloalkanes, which statement is wrong we should identify. So the given options are A to D. So among these, so any disubstituted cycloalkane can have cis to trans isomer. So this statement is wrong and remaining all are correct options we can observe. So the two substituents on the same carbon atom, there are no cis and trans isomers. So statement is wrong. Cis and trans isomer we cannot find out if two substituents are present on a same carbon atom. So remaining three are statements are correct. That is the planar form of any cycloalkane with a ring larger than the cyclopropane will not be the more stable conformation. Yes, it is correct. And cyclopentane is non-polar to avoid the torsional strain between the adjacent CH bonds. So that's why it is not in a planar. It is a non-planar cyclopentane. And the least strain form of the unsubstituted cycloalkane is chair conformation of cyclohexane. So A is the answer. Any disubstituted cycloalkane can have cis and trans isomer. It is a wrong statement regarding to the cycloalkane. Next question, which of the following statements regarding chair cyclohexane is wrong? So which statement is wrong related to the cyclohexane? So the given options are the dihedral angle of two axial bonds at adjacent carbon atoms is 180. Yes, it is correct. And the dihedral angle of two equatorial bonds on adjacent carbons is 60. It is also correct. And the dihedral angle between the axial bond and the equatorial bond on adjacent carbon is not 120, so it is 60. So this statement is wrong. And fourth option, given that the actual hydrogen atoms C1, C3, C5 form are equatorial triangle, and C1, C3, themselves are the equatorial hydrogens on them. So this is also correct one. So option C is the wrong answer. So the dihedral angle between the axial and the equatorial bonds on adjacent carbon in chair conformation is actually 60, but they represented 120. So this C is the wrong option. Remaining are correct options. And which compound is most acidic? So among the given compounds. So all are haloacetic acid derivatives, iodine, bromine, chlorine and fluorine. So by the electronegativity more to the fluorine, so this compound is having the more acidic when comparing with the remaining substituted acetic acids. So answer is A. And which of the following electronic configuration is the best description of carbon in its ground state? So to the carbon in ground state, what is the best electronic configuration? So you can see the options given here, 1s to 2s to 2p2. This is normally we can represent, but exact they asked the best description they asked. So we can see it is 1s to 2s to 2p1 and 2p x1 and 2p y1. This is the best description we can observe in the ground state. But in the case of excited state of carbon, so what is the exact description of this is nothing but this one. So 1s2 2s1 2px1 2py1 2pz1. So here for ground state the answer is C. And which of the following is the strongest intermolecular force? Intermolecular force. So the given options are London dispersion forces, hydrogen bonding, covalent bonds, and dipole-dipole interactions. So among these four, so the London dispersion forces, hydrogen bonding, and dipole-dipole interactions are intermolecular forces. All these three. But this covalent bond, it is a intramolecular bond. Mostly we can observe in the compounds, the intramolecular bond is nothing but covalent bond we can observe. So these three are the intermolecular. Among these three, which one is having the strongest intermolecular bond? So when you see this description, so only three of these, that is London dispersion forces, hydrogen bonding and dipole-dipole interactions are intermolecular forces, and this hydrogen bonding is the strongest, typical in the range of 10 to 30 kilojoules per mole. So hydrogen bonding having the strong intermolecular force with the 10 to 30. So covalent bond is a 10 times stronger than the all these types of interactions or forces, but it is a intramolecular force, this covalent bond. So option in the intermolecular strongest force is nothing but hydrogen bonding. So coming to the next question, the two compounds shown below are the analgesics, that is paracetamol, this one paracetamol, and this is the phenacetin. So phenacetin is the ethyl ester of paracetamol. So ethyl ester of paracetamol is nothing but phenacetin. Which one of the following statement concerning the hydrogen bonding of these compounds with water is not correct? So we should find out the which one is not correct. We should identify. First one, that is the CO group in both compounds may act as hydrogen bond acceptors with other molecules such as water. So this CO present in the both compounds acts as a hydrogen bond acceptor. Yes, it is correct. So next, the NH groups in both compounds may act as a hydrogen bond donors with the other molecules such as water. So the NH present in the compound, both the compounds, so acts as a hydrogen bond donor with the water molecules. And the paracetamol may hydrogen bond to water via its OH group, but phenacetin cannot do so via the corresponding OCH2 and OCH3 group in its structure. So this OH group make a hydrogen bond in the paracetamol, but this phenacetin is does not making a hydrogen bond. This is the statement given. But so due to the presence of lone pair of electrons on the oxygen, it can able to donate to the hydrogen bond donor it is accepting. So it can make a hydrogen bond by donating this lone pair of electron as like this OH. So this statement is not correct. And we can see next option also. So the lone pair of electrons on the nitrogen atom means that both compounds may act as a hydrogen bond acceptors with molecules such as water. So the nitrogen present on the two lone pair of electrons on these two paracetamol and phenacetin accepting the hydrogen bond acceptor. So C is the wrong answer and remaining three options are correct. And what process is being described by the following curly arrow? So this arrow, which process it is indicating? So the given options are the motion of pair of electrons from a region of high electron density to a region of low electron density, and the motion of a pair of electrons from a region of low electron density to a higher electron density, and the motion of a single electron from a region of high electron density to low electron, motion of a single electron from a low electron. So it is indicating that two electrons transferring, pair of electrons. So these two options are wrong. We can delete these two options, and it is indicating that the movement of electrons from the high electron density to the lower electron. So A is the correct answer, B is the wrong answer, you can see. And which is unreactive in hydride reduction in sodium borohydride. So which is unreactive in this hydride reduction. So there are four options given here. One is acetic acid, and it is acetone, and it is methyl acetoacetate, sorry, methyl acetate, and it is benzaldehyde. So among these, which one is unreactive to the hydride reduction with the Na? Sorry, that is a sodium borohydride. So sodium borohydride is a mild hydride donor, which in general reduces the aldehydes and ketones but not esters. So mild hydride donor, so it is going to reduce the aldehyde and ketones but not the esters. So it is a aldehyde and it is a ketone and it is a ester and it is a aldehyde. So this is the ester, so it cannot be able to hydride. So option is C is the correct. Next question, which pair of reactants for Grignard reaction does not give 2-phenyl butanol after an aqueous workup? So after aqueous workup, which compound is not giving the phenyl butanol, that is 2-phenyl butanol with the Grignard reaction? So here the four options given here. So among these options, if you observe clearly, so all are ketones. This is also ketone, and this is a ketone, but it is a ester it is given. So this compound only variation you can observe. This does not give. So upon ester dissociation, it is not giving this particular butanol compound. So in reaction D, the product of the reaction of the ester and two equivalent of the Grignard reagent is 2-phenyl propanol only it is giving in this case, propanol, not butanol. So remaining three it is giving the butanol in this case. So here I given the one brief about the Grignard reaction. So the methyl group migration is going to happen to the ketone or aldehyde and acid workup, and this is the final compound we can see. So option here is the D. It is not undergoing the Grignard reaction, not giving. It is undergoing Grignard reaction, but it is not giving the 2-phenyl butanol, but it is giving 2-phenyl propanol. It is giving. So which of the following reactions does not give the product indicated? So which is not giving the product, it is under these examples. So same Grignard reactions only, all these examples are. So if you see clearly, Grignard reagents are strong bases. Grignard reagents are, so all these Grignard reagents are strong bases as well as nucleophiles. So reaction D gives cyclohexane as a result of proton transfer from water. So proton transfer to the water, so water is converting into H3O plus, but it is not forming as a OH to this position. So this hydrohexanol is not giving, hydrohexane only it will give. So remaining products are forming as shown here, A, B, C. So D is not going to form. So D is the answer. And which of the following ester is the most reactive in acid catalyzed hydrolysis? So which of the ester is the most reactive in acid catalyzed hydrolysis? So if you see, increasing of bulkiness reducing the acid catalyzed hydrolysis. So bulkiness group increasing. So here the bulkiness group is low, we can observe in comparing with the remaining structure. So answer A is the correct answer. It is the most reactive with the acid catalyzed hydrolysis. So steric effects are the main factor to affect the reactivity at the acid catalyzed hydrolysis of an ester. So option A is the most reactive to the acid catalyzed hydrolysis. So which of the following statement is wrong? So for the synthesis of esters from carboxylic acid and alcohols, we can often use a base as a catalyst. And for the synthesis of esters from carboxylic acid and alcohol, we can often use an additional acid as catalyst. And for the alkaline hydrolysis of carboxylic acid, carboxylic esters, we need to use an excess of base. And for the hydrolysis of carboxylic esters under acidic condition, we need only a catalytic amount of additional acid. So among these statements, which statement is wrong, we should find out. So you can see basic conditions cannot be used for the synthesis of esters from carboxylic acids and alcohols, because carboxylic acid dissociate become only very weakly electrophilic carboxylate anions. So for synthesis of esters from carboxylic acids, we can often use the base as a catalyst. So this is a wrong statement. There is no need of any catalyst in the synthesis of any esters from the carboxylic acids and alcohols. So A is the answer. Remaining options are correct, we can observe. So wrong statement is the A. So if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and share to your friends. Thank you.